Welcome to another informational episode of On Enter Flash Basics. As you can tell, I'm running out of adjectives to describe these episodes. This is Waarith, and remember to show your support, subscribe, rate, and comment on my video. If you really want to show me some love, you'll go to my website, onenterflash.blogspot.com, and click on an ad or two and put a few pennies in my pocket. In this tutorial, we're going to be creating motion tweens. Tweens are a way to make simple or complex animation in a simple way. So Flash does all the heavy lifting. Right now I just have a red oval on the screen doing a whole lot of nothing, and what I want to do to this is make it go from one part of the stage to the other part using a motion tween. And the way that I have to do that is I have to make sure that this oval is a few things. It can be a symbol or it has to be grouped. Now we already know how to make symbols. We could easily turn this into a graphic, movie clip, or button, but we're going to turn this into a grouped object. And the way we do that is we select the item and we go over to the modify, and in modify you see group. You also see a shortcut for group, and that's an easier way to do it. Control G. Click on that, and now you see a blue border around your item, and it kind of resembles a movie clip button or graphic. But once you go into the properties, you see that it's a group, and it doesn't have any options to change like movie clips, buttons, or graphics. So with it selected, let's go into the timeline, and in the timeline we can right click and insert a frame, a keyframe. I inserted a keyframe, and I picked the length in which I wanted the keyframe to exist. So it started off with the first frame, and I chose that I wanted this change to be complete at frame 15. We can just play the animation and see what it does for now. It goes and it does absolutely nothing. So what I want to do is go to the last frame by selecting it, and I'm going to move this oval all the way to the end of the stage. I'm going to press enter to preview my animation, and you saw it didn't do much of anything. It just stayed in one place and jumped at the last frame to the last part. What we're going to do is create a tween, a motion tween. So we'll right click on the extended frame, and you see create motion tween. And when we create a motion tween, it smoothly animates from one point to the other. So the first frame, it was here. In the last frame, it went all the way across the stage. And Flash fills in the gap between that movement. So when we press enter now, it moves across. So instead of animating for 15 frames and moving it little by little, Flash does all the heavy lifting for you. And there's much more to just motion tweens than motion. Let's click on the tween. You can tell that it's a tween because now the frame turns blue and you see an arrow inside of it. And once we click on the motion tween frame, we have properties, and inside of the properties we have other things we can change about it. We have ease. The ease allows us to control the speed coming in and out of the animation. So if you turn this up or down, you'll get a smoother beginning or a smoother start. You also have rotation. This won't do us any good because it's an oval, but if it was a square, we can add in some rotation. Right now it's on auto. We can actually specify if we want it to be clockwise or counterclockwise. We also have the scale on. So if I go to the last frame, and not only does it move over, I want it to scale up. I'm going to go to the free transform tool, click on the item, holding shift to keep the ratios, and now it should move over and scale up. If we want to test a movie inside of the Flash player, all we have to do is go to Control and go to Test Movie, and we see it inside of a SWF. we're going to learn a new technique, and that's going to be the shape tween. So let's go to the first frame, and this time we're just going to draw an oval on this stage. We're not going to group it, and it's not going to be an object. I'm just going to lock and hide the first layer we've created, and inside here we have our green oval, and I'm going to press F6. That inserts a new keyframe, and instead of me moving it around, I'm actually going to delete the content, and I'm going to draw a rectangle instead, all the way over here. So let's look at this animation. It stays as a circle, and at the end it just pops as a square. What we're going to do is create a shape tween. In a shape tween, what it does is any shape that you have, it morphs into that shape. So now it goes from a circle to a square. Now we can get more complex, but the more complex you get, the more processing time it takes. So that's how you do tweens. We know how to do motion tweens and shape tweens. We did motion tween with a grouped object. Now I want to do it with a movie clip and show you some of the properties that you can change. So you can change colors, alpha, and all sorts of stuff. So let's create a new layer. And on that new layer, I'm going to draw a pentagon and turn that pentagon into a movie clip. I'm going to lock the layers that I'm not using, and I'm going to convert the pentagon into a movie clip. I'll call it my MC. Now it's a movie clip. I'm going to go to the last frame of animation, press F6, and change it some way. I'm going to hide the other layers that I have, and I'm going to bring up the properties. And inside the properties, you have, when I click on my movie clip, you see color, and in this color you have all sorts of options you can change. For now, I'm going to change tint. I recommend you just play around and find things that you want to do. It gives me the percent of how much, the tint amount, and it also gives me the tint color. I can go with anything I want in the amount that it takes. So I'm going 100%. So in the animation, it's a blue pentagon and it goes to a pink pentagon. And what I'm going to do is motion tween. And we'll see that blue turn into pink. You can also scale it. And we can also rotate it. Go on the tween. Go clockwise. We have a rotating pentagon turning blue to pink. So these are just some of the things that you can do with motion tweens. I recommend that you go and you try out all sorts of different things to find out what you can do yourself, what you can create yourself. So this is how you make motion tweens. This is how you do it with grouped objects and how you do shape tweens. So go ahead and experiment, change colors, change all sorts of things. Don't be afraid. Thanks for watching on Enter Flash. This is Waarith. Don't forget to visit my website onenterflash.blogspot.com. Show your support by subscribing, rating, commenting, and that's pretty much it.